All right, we're live and we're going to be talking about the crazy gains across Solana and crypto in general. Take a couple of questions at the very end and let's go from there. So starting with the first major thing, Solana is like 6% or thereabouts away from all-time highs, which is amazing. And also you have to keep in mind that if you bought Solana at all-time highs in the previous cycle, so $260 or thereabouts, if you staked it, you would have staked it for 2 years and you would be up already. Whereas if you bought ETH in the previous at a previous all-time high cycle, or Matic, or any of these other, most of these other tokens other than Bitcoin and Solana, then you would be down. I'm referring to like the deep bear of 2022. So this is wonderful to see. We should be up here pretty soon. I'm learning a new trading system, which I'll share once I've kind of getting a little bit better. This is with a Hull moving average. Basically, line goes green. This is oversimplified. Boom, up we go. So we're doing good. All right. A lot of greenery in the market. Sol is essentially, it's kind of like decoupling away from BTC. So we need more confirmation that, because we don't really know what's happening with if the dominance goes up a little bit further, if BTC goes to 100K and then it starts to become kind of alt season. But thus far, we are seeing Sol kind of jump up and some of the altcoins jump up as well, even though BTC isn't. So this is good. This is very good. And we've got more greedy, but not as greedy as we were. So this is also fine. A little bit of greed is all good. Solana hitting all-time highs against ETH, which is just continuing and continuing. And look, there's a lot of OG money in Ethereum, so you have to be wary of that. But I do feel that OG money is going to go elsewhere. It's not going to try and pump up Ethereum. It's just a hard thing to pump up. Only time will tell if I'm right. And many others will have the same viewpoint. So if they're right. So since the election, which, you know, like I understood that Trump was bullish for crypto, but since the election, I did not expect that the whales would make things go like this. But in general, like Tesla, Bitcoin, Coinbase, Doge, kaboom, everything else, okay. And then oil, coal, China, Trump media, they've all gone down. So Trump media hasn't even increased as a stock. We've got a couple of large token unlocks happening. I don't know what MRS is or Rose, Cardano, that will be eaten up. Pretty much all of these are, they're not really going to, as far as I'm aware, affect the market. And MRS and Rose, I don't know what they are. Solana's weekly DEX volumes, trading volume surpasses Ethereum and all its layer 2s combined, which is stupid. A lot of this is arbitrage and it's meme coins. I feel silly for fading meme coins for as long as I did. I mean, I've always DCA'd into big BONK, but now, like, I get the mission. It's far more clearer. I'm going to be far more on meme coins. And if everyone is not okay with that, I'm sorry. There will still be DeFi news, of course. There will still be the general news, but I'm going to be DLMMs and meme coins because I think that's what's going to help myself and you guys and girls and whatever do well. Revenue generation on Solana going crazy. However, this is not good for gas fees. This will all be kind of resolved throughout the next few months, maybe early next year. We can't rush this sort of stuff. So if someone does say, well, it costs more than 1 cent to do a Solana transaction, yes, you are right. That is the case. In order to really push through a transaction, I will quite often spend like 80 seconds to get a little bit of a Jito tip or priority fee in there. Doesn't matter too much though, because if you are staking your Sol with Validate.com, like the MEV rewards that you're going to get, you're just going to claw that back. Now there's a Jupiverse vote on, and this does get active staking rewards, so make sure you go and vote. I've gone with this one, the Burning Cat. The Burning Cat, bit of a meme, but it just looks cool. And I'm not like crazy fond of the AI kind of art. I kind of like this. This is my kind of preferred thing. And I don't know if this is AI, but I like it. The 6 options, 2 will be added. And this vote is pegged to the moving 30 quorum. So you go here, take your already voted, Burning Cat, vote, easy peasy. Dupe Rally, it was going to be today, but now, if we click on this, this will take us here. This is now going to happen tomorrow. So it's live in 22 hours. Unsure the reason why this is like this, but it will mean that tomorrow we will also not do a live stream at 4 o'clock. We'll do a live stream at 4 p.m. UTC so that we can watch this beforehand. Because I think it's pretty important. There's not a lot of clarity when it comes to what's happening with the next Jupilee 2025. And hopefully this gives us a lot more substance so we can realize what Meow's vision is. Because the guy is a genius. And I do think if we can get everything, his vision out, then we can, work out what are we voting for and whatnot. TLDR is there's been a lot of opinions. Some have been like brutal. Like you should respectfully disagree with people online. But if you wouldn't speak like that to someone in person, and I speak to people directly, but the stuff that people put online is just kind of just nasty stuff. There's a lot of good stuff as well, but don't just necessarily go on bull post or bear post. Go and put out, if you want your token to do well, if you want the community to do well, go and put like actionable advice. That's what I vote for. And he's been considering this, and let's see what he talks about tomorrow. Simon's Cat Meme Vault is no longer live. It is closed. It's been done. And I've just been on a call for a little bit of time. So I need to see when this actually starts trading. Maybe the trade is kind of started. Really, really bullish on this. I put this into the Telegram. When does this kind of start trading? Either way, if you can, maybe you can already get your tokens out. I don't want to, maybe I'll talk about this at the very end of the stream. Let's see, we'll see if it's kind of live. But for now, if you miss this, I put it in Telegram. Sometimes things are so time sensitive, you need to follow Telegram, Twitter, and YouTube because it's faster to put something into Telegram. Over 100,000 was filled, of course. There was almost 2 million USDC, and which means if you put in $1,000, then you're going to get most of that refunded. You'll have to claim it, and you'll only get a small amount back. This is good. We'll come back. So why is Cat over here? I had my thesis is pretty obvious. We may as well talk about this now, actually. So the reason why is because there's a lot more attention over here. The reason why I'm personally very, very fond of it being over here is because of the fact that like you've got Meteor, you've got DLMMs. I can go to PancakeSwap on Binance, search for Cat. I can't even see a liquidity pool. I don't even know. I mean, I could work it out, but I don't even know where the perfect place is to get a decent rewards incentive by pairing Cat with USDC over there. Whereas we can go Cat and Sol, or Cat and BONK, or Cat and USDC over here, set our ranges, print some fees, do whatever we like. If we want to sell out, it's easier. It's just easier. So I like that they've come across here. Now, this does not increase the supply, of course. That would be a bearish thing. The token supply is the same. They're using layer 0 foundations bridge. So layer 0 to seamlessly transfer between BNB and Solana while maintaining total supply. I don't know if that means that we can do it as well. Sorry, I'm sharing my screen, but let me show you. I don't know if that means we can do it as well. Either way, when one supply comes in, they burn the tokens. When they move, they mint them. It's like, so the contract is immutable. It is mutable. It says we'll be adding Cat at 4:45 p.m. UTC. So maybe let's have a quick look and see if there's actually something live and ready to go. And I say this because we'll go and grab the contract address. I would have preferred for them to have like type. Maybe this is the same contract. No, I wish it said cat in the name. It's a small thing, but I just think it looks cooler if it says cat. If it's generic. Okay, so 1 hour up 55%. I mean, this is a market cap, right? It's come up a little bit. I mean, it's $505 million market cap over here. And over on Binance, it's going to be lower. But I'm not like, this is fine. This is all cool. What I'm more interested in is just providing some liquidity in Meteor to print some fees. So we have to go and look at specifically on Solana. All right, we'll go and paste it here again. So this pool, $500 million market cap, decent volume, nothing crazy. You generally want over $1 million in 24 hours, and most of that is going through Radium. Liquidity is pretty high though, so it's not going to print crazy amount, but I will enter this. I just don't want to do it live stream because it'll take away. You don't have to enter that, of course, but I do like what Cat's doing. BONK. Oh goodness, I want to just. This is a little bit of a longer live stream, and I apologize for that. But BONK is currently trading more volume than BTC, ETH, and Sol, and Doge on Coinbase. And I put this in the Telegram, I think, but Telegram was done at like early hours in the morning. So essentially, if you've missed out on BONK because you didn't buy it on the 5th of November and you think, okay, I've missed it. I understand that. The reality is, in my opinion, you haven't missed it. Now it's more favorable conditions. Yes, you missed out on turning $1,000 of BONK into $2,000. Ideally, you've watched other videos that I've blabbered on about and you've got some BONK. But now I'm more bullish on it. It's not, doesn't mean it's a leverage time for me, but I think now it's starting to actually reach that kind of mass hysteria stage where I think BONK could be like the leader of this cycle. And I'll be very keen to see when the BONK guy, if he ever says, you know what, love Flocky, hold lots of Flocky, but I think BONK is actually going to outperform. And if he says something like that, it could be the case. There's been a few things, but there's been so much kind of bull posting on my Twitter feed that it's kind of like an echo chamber for me. But I think BONK could be, you know, Doge, BONK, or it could be in the top kind of 3 or 4 meme coins, end of the cycle, total market cap, just because it has so much going for it, and there's so much attention, and there's a fund to kind of make things go well. There's BonkGuy and Cadence and OniNom, all these people that are just kind of pumping this stuff out. All right. If you're not following Cadence, then you're missing out. I mentioned this for like over a week before I did this crazy run up. Remember, every time you tweet anything, it should have the hashtag Let's Bonk, because it just means that we're going to get more and more BONK burnt. And this is, you know, maybe by the end of the cycle, 15% or something stupid of the supply has been burnt. If that's the case, that's a very, very bullish thing, I think. Big burns with BonkBot again. All this stuff just kind of puts it on your timeline, And for context on like why crypto Twitter's timeline matters so much, the reason why I was covering the heist so diligently quite some time ago, and the team have done many mistakes since, I feel, and I should probably unlist all those videos because I am not excited for the heist these days. But it was a quiet time in crypto. Solana wasn't doing very well. Nothing was doing really well. And the heist had just so much engagement, and it kind of took over. It then died off, of course. Don't know why. I've got my reasons, but that's, you know, I'll keep them to myself. But whereas BONK, when it takes over, it then starts to become more normally friendly, and it's already pretty normally friendly because it's a cute dog. So I dig it. That's my thesis. If you think BONK is a dog coin of Solana and you think Sol outperforms ETH, then there's only one target in mind. BONK with a market cap of SHIB at the all-time high, 12x, but I think it goes even higher than that. but I think a 10x for this, even better. And I do not think that Solana 10x's, but I still think you should get some Sol, stake some Sol, and have some BONK too. Blunts here, basically BONK is in price discovery or imminent. The BONK guy was right. Now, of course, Blunts is not always right with everything, but you know, as long as he's right, the vast majority of the time, he will outperform the market. And he likes my dog, so I say yes. Magic Eden announcing tokenomics for ME. Unsure if this has been done. This is something that I'm not super over, just putting it on your radar, see how it works out for you. If you're going to be using Whales Market to sell your diamonds or whatever, you're welcome to. If people ask me about the Whales Market token, I'm not buying. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not buying and burning their token. So the platform's good, the token is bearish. And this is what they've put out. Don't get slapped in the face. Join ME. Tokenomics still on track for next Monday. Now, TokenGuy has gone and released a token. And this token here has been launched. I've got the ticker here. Just for a full disclosure, there's a small group of people that were early contributors. I've put in a small amount of SOL for the whatever the liquidity tokens or whatever. We can cover this in more detail, but for now, I just kind of want to put it on your radar as something you may want to be keen on. I like, it's only just launched today. I haven't even looked at the chart yet, so we can have a look. What I find interesting about this is we're in this period now where, as much as I don't like the meme, I respect the meme. I actually do like the meme. As much as I like sleep, this is not the time to be sleeping. This is the time when, not health advice, but you probably pause your sport, you get a treadmill, you do your steps, you go to the gym briefly, and you just lock in if you want to do well. And what's pretty cool about this particular frog, CROAK, the bullfrog, the ticker CROAK, is a bullfrog, I just learned, never sleeps. So that's kind of cool. And you know what? Even better, TokenGuy will come on the live stream and talk about this. We'll go through all the news, and then he can tell you the mission of CROAK. So let's give him. We'll go through all the news now. All right. Actionables. Vote is live. This is for Dupe. Ends 20th of November. DCA Sol, stake with Validate.com. Join my Telegram channel for time-sensitive updates. DCA into Camino, current price levels, DCA BONK as well, and airdrop actionables, Meteor, Bull Run, and Gradient Network. A few other things that I will mention, I'll put them in Telegram, and that is, I'm going to have a look at the CAT token when it comes to DLMMs, and have a look into CROAK. I think this could be something pretty successful. I think it's a good idea to really meme into existence the idea of like properly hustling. That's what's going to outperform in the market. So I want to kind of be part of it. Alrighty, let me just have a quick look at some of these very quick questions. I have a look at the Fee Printers NFT proposal, and I'll talk about it tomorrow. I'm going to need to one day to have a look. And the reason why you were not allowed to do this was probably because you were not staked for 12 months. It needs to be staked for 12 months. I'm not going to look at the grass price, like the chart will go up, the chart will go down. I'm just using grass to get it. All right, let's welcome to the stage TokenGuy. Let him share his screen and hear what he has to say. GM, sir.
Hey, how's it going? How are y'all doing?
Good.
So I've been busy, obviously, doing the token launch this morning. So I've been in and out of your stream, but specifically I saw that you were talking about the token and stuff like that. So I figured I would mention it and go through. You know, we do a lot of the live streams that we do. We are DLMMing, right? And so I figured what better way than to deal them in my own coin while also chatting about it. And so the chart's been really, really nice. Normally, whenever I look at a chart, you know, it's like, hey, I'm looking for good upward progression, some decent pullbacks, and then a healthy rise again. And that's what we've been seeing so far. It's been amazing to see just all the volume and just all the people that are excited about this. So thank y'all if you bought into this and you're supporting us. We really want to do a lot of good in the space. We want to see this thing go really big. We are meme coin first, but we've actually got a ton of really, really cool ideas in the pipeline that we're hoping to be able to share with everybody really, really soon. So yeah, we're excited. We're here for the long term. And so is there anything specific, Seb, about it that you wanted me to talk about? I wasn't quite sure where you were at with it or anything like that. Do you want me to just talk about it how I normally would? Sure.
I talk about it however you like. What your plan is, or like, not, it's a meme coin, of course, but what, you know, how you came up with the idea, whatever you like.
Okay. Yeah, very cool. So, you know, I started to come up with this idea because I saw the meme over and over again, right? So I saw the meme of, hey, like, don't sleep, like, lock yourself in your room, like, you know, all these different things that were based this kind of continual like cultural shift that I was seeing people talking about it. And it was a meme that already existed, but I just didn't see it quite portrayed in a token yet. And so that's what kind of made me excited about making this. And so I was like, all right, this is cool. So I looked up an animal. I was like, what animals don't sleep? And bulldogs actually don't sleep. They like technically close their eyes and rest, but they actually don't have like a sleep cycle like we do. And I thought this is perfect. Frogs are kind of hot right now. And so we jumped on and started making it happen. And so the goal really is, or the narrative behind it is like, you know, we're going to continue to grind. We're going to lock in. We're going to, you know, make this happen and stay in the trenches. And because there's so much money and so much volume right now that, you know, there's tons of people that are, making lots of money off the current market. And so that's kind of how it got started. And so, we really wanted to do it the right way. So I reached out to a lot of OGs, people who have launched tokens before and stuff like that. Getting a lot of advice from them, people like NFT Tim and King Pesky and stuff like that. And basically it was like, hey, how do we do this right? And so Major Token is one that some people had some experience on, and I know how they had done it. So we're like, I really like that. And so basically the idea is you launch on Moonshot so that whenever it bonds, a huge chunk of the LP is locked forever in Meteora, and there's fees that are earned and they're spread between the top 50 holders. So I thought this is really cool. One, it generates some income that we can use to then buy back the token and burn it, which 100% of the money that we get to our marketing wallet is actually going to be used to buy back the token and burn it. And so with the amount of volume we're seeing right now, that's going to end up being a pretty large amount. And so we don't need that money for ourselves. We would rather support the token itself. And because we have vested tokens over 9 months, we'll end up making money in the long run, but we'll also be supporting the token. So all the holders and everybody will be able to earn in the long run as well. And so that's a big part of what we want to do. We have an amazing team. We've got like 4 people on Twitter that are replying and putting out content and stuff like that. We have artists that are pumping out amazing art and content and memes and stuff like that daily. And so we have an amazing team that's pushing this out, and we have a dream to make this, you know, big. We really, our goal is to be the next 1 billion coin. Obviously, not every coin makes it there, and whatever we get to, we're going to be happy with that. But that is the goal, is to get there. We have a lot of cool ideas in the pipeline, things that will kind of give it a little bit of utility, give it some some use case stuff we haven't seen before. So that's kind of the gist, the spiel on it. If anybody has questions, obviously they can ask about it. And I'm gonna try to DLM this over here. We've been seeing crazy volume, so I've been having trouble doing that. But
cool. Yeah, I like the idea that like it's always good to learn more about meme coins, and I like the idea that it's not like a cabal meme coin. It's something created to try and get people on board, kind of like it's got a bit more of a bonk vibe to me, and people need to lock in, and they need to not sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anybody has any questions, I'd love to be able to talk to people about the token itself, but also if people are curious about like Meteora and kind of different questions on how to do that. I'm happy to do that as well while I'm up here. That's what a lot of our live streams have been. They've been educational and informative, and so don't want this to just be a shill. I'd be happy to do some stuff like that along the way also. So the volume's pretty crazy, and so I'm having trouble even getting my pull in right now because it's moving so much. Let's see if I can get it in there. So here I created a two-sided spot, and I did the autofill feature. And so I'm two-siding it here, and I'm on a 200 bin, 2% pull. And so as the token dips and it goes up, we'll collect fees along the way. It keeps not going through, but
what would you suggest if you look at the chart now? Like if someone was going to if this wasn't your baby, your creation, how would you kind of look at it and go, all right, this is where I would prefer to put in a position or something like that? What kind of tips could you give just generally in terms of when would be a good kind of time to enter a DLMM pool with this?
Yeah. So like right now the chart's taking a big dip, which is like a pretty normal thing, especially on big tokens that launch pretty early. And so this is like, for us, this would be a good time. So usually, let me pull it up here. You'll be able to see the dip happening. So you can see it happen here. And so a lot of people have moved up. They're taking profit. And then you're seeing a big pullback to some initial levels here. And so basically what we're looking for is this to happen. And then you don't want to buy as it's falling. There's going to be buy actions. There's going to be people that are looking to get in here at these lower levels. And for some reason, Bird Eye isn't updating. So we're not actually seeing these candles live, but I would like to try to get that. But anyway, as it's dipping, people start to buy in because they're saying, okay, I couldn't get in before, but I like the project and I want to get in now. And so as it's getting bought up here, you'll start to see some stabilization. And then as it moves back up, that's when you would want to get in. You want to get in on an upward motion like that. And so some people will be risky and they'll buy what's called like the falling knife or the dip like this. And if that's kind of your strategy, hey, that's cool. But I like to see it stabilize a little bit and then you get in. And that way, when you make the pool and you create it two-sided, you see it moving on both sides and it ends up doing really well. So that's kind of the gist of how I would get into the pool. I need to try to, I'm not sure why Bird Eye isn't updating here. It's just
I'm trying to just buy some on Juke and they're not going through either. The slippage settings.
Yeah, it's a lot right now. Yeah, even trying to create the pool, like it's moving pretty crazy. So let's see if I can add in here.
Did you
yeah, keep saying that there's a lot of slippage.
After you get your pool in, I would like to know tokenomics. Can you release them now, or are they coming out on a Twitter post, or what's the plan there?
Sorry, say that again.
I would like to know if you can go over the tokenomics. Did you want to go over them today, or do you want to go over them? And then
I'd love to. So I'll just So can y'all see this screen, or is this blocked out?
It's just blank, just a nice white. Unless it's a whiteboard screen that you're trying to show us.
No, it's not. Let me see if I can add this to. Which one of these is it here? Should be this one. Let me see if I can get it pulled up. Sorry.
Yeah, of course.
Should be able to pull it up. You can see this now, right?
Yeah.
So you can see the chart?
We can see the list of names. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So one thing with the tokenomics, this is the general breakdown of the token and the supply and stuff like that. And so it was important for us to like have a lot of exposure, for it to be very organic, and for people to see what we're doing, right? So one thing we wanted to do, we knew there would be like snipers right when you launch, and there were snipers, even though we tried to like keep it as very private as possible. There always is. People are scanning for stuff like this. And so we actually bought 46% of the supply from creation. And so normally when people look at that, they can say, oh, that's not great. People get like bearish on that because they're afraid people are going to like dump on them or something like that, right? But the way that we went about this is that we wanted to have this exposure. We wanted to be able to have it open for everyone to see. And so you can see the different wallets, the percent supplies, the person, their wallet, the wallet address, and then the vesting contracts I'm still putting together. But these will pop up within the next few hours. I'll have all these populated as well. And so that way people can actually see, because all of our team and all of the early contributors that wanted to buy in early, which you can see the role of the people here and their function, all of them have it vested over 9 months. And so this is kind of a long-term approach. We're basically saying, hey, like we're vesting over 9 months. And so no one's just like getting a ton right off the bat. And so this is cool because by locking up a large portion over 9 months, it means that it's really constricting the supply to where it's hard to like have one person that doesn't have their tokens locked up, buy a bunch, right? And then have like a big say in the token price, right? It allows for more people, what we call like a fair launch, more people to get in and build up over time. And so, yeah, we have it all open. This is a sheet that's publicly available on our Telegram, which is why I have no problem sharing it. And it shows the name of the people, their wallet address. It'll show the vesting contract, the percent of the supply and their role. And then another really, really cool thing is that the LP here is locked up in Meteora, and the top 50 holders once a day will earn fees from the volume that's taken place. And so with all the volume that's happening, we're actually seeing, we'll see after about 3 hours, that the LP has collected fees, and that'll actually get airdropped to the top 50 wallets. So that'll be some of our wallets here, and it'll also be anybody who's bought in, who's buying in large allocations. And so that'll be really, really big. And it's people who are currently holding, not like someone who has owned a bunch at one point, but people who are currently holding it will be able to get that airdrop whenever it happens. And so this is really, really cool because even though a lot of our early guys are going to get a decent amount of that, we actually have a large marketing wallet, which is 15%. It's actually split between 9 wallets, which you can see here, the dev wallet and 8 marketing wallets. And 100% of the marketing wallets are going to be used. The amount of money they make from the LPs will be used to buy back the token and burn it. And that'll be something that we post on Twitter, which is going to be really, really cool. And so this will promote the token, like I said, because it's going to increase the value of the token overall for everybody, not just something for us. So this is kind of the breakdown. We did early vested holders, 21%, team is 10%. The marketing wallet is 15%, which is the only thing that's not locked or not vested. And then we have, which will be used for like if we wanted to move to a SEX or DEX or something like that, or to use it for marketing to be able to expand to different communities or to have different people who want to help us out and bring exposure to it. And then the remaining is what's available for people. So that's what we're seeing here. If there's any questions about that, I'd love to answer it.
Cool. We got the ticker is CROAK, and then this is the address, the contract address. And you've asked why is it not verified on Jupiter? The reason why that is like that is because all brand new tokens are not verified yet. It takes time, so it has to be like submitted to CoinGecko. The logo has to go on to get updated, so you see it in your Phantom and your Solflare wallets, and then you have to do an approval process to get it verified on Jupiter. And that's just because there's like 14 to 30,000 tokens created every day, and they can't all be verified because quite often there's like completely created scam ones. So it just kind of takes time. Can you say
Yep, absolutely.
How do you see if you're a top 50 wallet? I'm trying to add a position onto
so you can see that on so you can see that on SolScan. You would just get the token address here, and then you go to SolScan. Let me verify. Hey, Bell Llama, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, we love the art. The art isn't just like a side thing. It's something that we really wanted to do well, and our artists are amazing. So you would just enter the token address. You can see here, CROAK the Bullfrog. And then there's a section right here that says holders. And so you can actually see the top holders here. Yeah, so you can just see it like this manually. I'm not sure if like I wanted to see like what number holder I am, if it like shows that somewhere, but pretty easily you can like scan through and you'd be able to see if you're in the top 50, right? Because you can see how much people own, like the percentage of it. You can see all these people own a pretty big amount. And so based on how much you own, you can just get an idea of where you're at. So like, let's say you own 5 million of it, then you would be somewhere close to the top 50, right? And then you could say, okay, am I a little above, a little before, and then you can find your wallet like that. So that's the way I've done it in the past.
Cool. Can it be shown in Moonshot as well, or we're not sure yet? Maybe.
Like the holder count. I mean, where you are in the holder thing. Let's take a look. Yeah. It's possible. So you can see here, token dipped, a lot of people getting out, taking profits. Maybe some people are scared, whatever that looks like. There's a natural healthy dip back on charts. And then you can see here, it's starting to move back up. And so this is the area, if I was looking, I would look to get in. And so normally I draw support lines and I'm looking to get in about 50% of the way up through the range, which would be around here to here-ish, so that you can ride the chart back up. Now, obviously it could come back down, but normally whenever I'm looking at this, I'm looking to try to find a ride back up. You don't want to catch it on the way down. You want to catch it on the way up. And it's looking pretty good right here. We actually saw a pretty big volume increase on the sell-off here and then on the people buying up. So it's always a good sign. You always see a nice healthy drawback. And on a brand new chart like this, it looks like, oh man, it pulled back a lot. But this is actually very normal considering the market cap of the coin is like 2 million or 2 point something right now. Seeing this drawback can happen very quickly. So no issues there. But yeah, that's where I'd be looking.
Cool. And then I'll ask this one here.
Check out how my DLMM is doing.
Sure.
Dang, I never got into it. Sorry, go ahead.
It's on the screen now.
Oh yeah, Moonshot. We were looking at Moonshot.
Moonshot and Pump Fun are things I need to learn more about. But Pump.fun, they don't do anything like this, do they?
No, they do. They have a bonding that happens, but there's no like locked LP to Meteor or anything like that. That's something very specific to Moonshot. Moonshot is a very fair launch system, the way that it's set up, so it's pretty cool.
I'm hoping it's
loading the chart here.
A lot more traction.
Right.
Moonshot, yeah, just because
like
it uses Meteor.
Yeah, it's on the 1 second. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not sure as far as holder. Let me see if there should be, like on Bird Eye, you can check it as well. So like here on Bird Eye in the bottom left, it says top 10 holders, how much they own, stuff like that. But you can see, you can like click on it potentially. I mean, you can see if you're in the top 10 there. Yeah, I'm not too sure if it shows it on. Moonshot is something that is still a little bit newer for me, as far as like the layout, because I use Bird Eye so much, and this is based on Deck Screener and not Moonshot. It's Deck Screener's stuff. But oh, here you go, holders. Yeah, here you go. So right here under transactions, top traders, bubble match, you can see holders here, and so it'll actually show you how much, who owns what, and the value and stuff like that. And you can scroll down. So
did you manage to see any botters that got in that you think may kind of jump in and then go out? So that could be something to watch for as well. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so there were people who sniped pretty early. Yeah, we didn't have any botters, but we did have some people who were waiting and like sniped it up right away a bunch. But this initial dip that you see here, this was pretty much them getting out. I think there's some that still held a little bit, but there weren't any with any large supplies. Let me see here.
I see all the questions I'll ask.
You can see the top holder here.
Legion, where do you
Yeah.
think it will go? Well, I mean,
Yeah, please. You
ideally,
can
it'd
feel
be
free to start answering.
$1 billion coin would be nice, but I think it's about just trying to do something in a fair launch system without kind of the cabal insiders, and with a memeable animal that's cool, which is, you know, like it's not sleeping or sleeping very little, like a bullfrog, and just getting stuff done. The CA is, I'll post it again, but you can actually just find it on Twitter. That would be a better thing, just to follow the Twitter. And did you answer this one here specifically on the unlock, kind of the vesting period of how that looks?
The vesting, you said?
Yeah. Do you see this? Do you see this
the
from
vesting chart?
The 46% supply bought up 9 months later. Will all tokens be released or gradually over the course of time? Did you mention the kind of the
release? Yeah, that's a great question. So yeah, so over the 9 months, they'll graduate over time. I mean, they'll gradually release over time. So it's not all locked 100% for the 9 months. It'll release slowly, slowly throughout the 9 months, right? So because all of the team and the people, like, there needs to be an incentive, right? And so for them to continue pushing and working and everything like that, because I mean, this is a legit grind to keep this token going, to do well, to put out the memes, to get the art out, everything like that. And so it releases over time because that's how people are paid. And then the money that we get to the marketing wallet will be used to buy back up the token and help support it in that way. And so it's kind of like a very healthy cycle of seeing a little bit of supply drip out. It's slightly inflationary in that regard, but then after that 9 months, it will no longer be inflationary in that regard because the supply will be fully released at that point. We see that with, you know, many popular tokens like Solana, for instance. Solana's inflationary. The team has a slow amount vested that's dripping over time. Obviously, this is a meme coin and not a Solana token, so we're not vesting for like 5 years. But the goal of this would bring it to 1 billion plus, for it to be a massive token and for it to do really, really well. That's what we're pushing for. And with the funds that we're earning that are outside of like the marketing wallet and stuff like that, we have a lot of really cool ideas for things that we want to push to be able to do different giveaways and things in the community. We're going to be creating, potentially creating some other stuff. So I don't want to promise anything just yet, but we do have a lot of stuff in the pipeline. So, but that's how it would work. It would release over the 9 months.
Awesome. Did your DLMM go through? And Kian asks, I
don't think so.
What do you mean by DLMM? Maybe just make sure you get your position in there before we answer any more questions. DLMM is dynamic liquidity market making, or market makers. And this is a feature of Meteora, which TokenGuy is very good at. And this is where I'll be pivoting a lot of attention into, where TokenGuy has run up one wallet from like 20,000 to 120,000, where you provide liquidity in a very specific range, like what he's doing right now on the screen. So when you mentioned another meme coin before, I don't have time to look at it, Rizzo or something. But one major thing is, in the last 1 hour, there's like $2.4 million of transactional volume, which could mean there's elevated fees. Now, I wish that I could say just watch one video on DLMMs and you're good and you're set to go. You're not, though. So the best thing is to try and watch as many streams from TokenGuy, and then I'll just kind of piece together the good information without the, you know, the background stories or whatever, and then make one kind of super tutorial. That is my particular goal. We have another question here. I'll let just TokenGuy get his position in. Last 2 days, I swapped 5 different meme coins, which all have now 0 value. Can you please guide how I can avoid a scam coin?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So like, yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of different things that could take place in that, right? You can see, just to talk about this just for a second, this DLMM is earning like a lot of fees. So we're seeing it'd buy up. So as it goes down, it'll buy up here. As it pushes up, it'll continue to buy here, and we'll earn a lot of fees, which is above 999%. Now, this number may drop down, probably will drop down over time. It's just on new launches like this, it's very heightened. And so we'll keep watching that. But yeah, as far as the token, when you buy into a meme coin, like it doesn't necessarily like it could be that someone like got in really early, like a sniper or something, they're rugging it, whatever you want to call it. There could be situations like that. And so, yeah, it's something to look out for. You can look at the top holder count. You can look at who's creating it, how vulnerable are they being, stuff like that. Like I said, we have all of our stuff publicly available for people to see. And so you can look at that kind of stuff to make sure they're not going to. But it could be that snipers got in early and they're actually dropping the chart a lot, and it causes FOMO and a bunch of people start selling off. And then the token just doesn't have the ability to be able to pick itself back up. And so in that instance, sometimes it's not necessarily like a rug or that the team did something wrong. It's just that it didn't have enough traction to be able to push on to where people were expecting it to. And so, yeah, I think that that's something to consider and look at. Outside of those things, like I'm not really too sure, right? So for instance, let's say a week from now, we've been pushing hard. We're doing everything that we can. We're getting exposure out there. We're grinding it out. And our token ends up dipping off and dipping off and dipping off. And it's like, no matter what we do, we can't get traction, right? Which I don't expect to happen. I don't want that to happen. Just saying, if that happens, like at some point, you know, weeks down the line, we're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep doing what we can. But eventually, if people just aren't involved in it, they don't like it, they don't want to buy it, then it just won't do well, right? So the goal is to maintain traction, maintain exposure. And that's really the goal of the team. And so you can never say like, oh, I'm going to buy into this and it's absolutely going to do well. All you can really do is say, okay, let me find a good team. Let me find a meme that I think is relatable, that's going to like gain a lot of traction, and then let's push it. And so like you find a good team, you find a good coin, a good meme, and then say, all right, I think this is one I want to invest in. It looks like it has a good chart and I'm going to invest in it. And so that's really all you can do. You kind of just do your research on it and then make a decision. But there's no way to like know for sure. And I would say like many people, right? Like the reason that this chart has gone up and down is because people have taken profits, right? They're saying like, all right, it went up and I've been burned on coins before, and so I want to take profits. And that's totally normal and totally okay. Like I understand that, right? And so the goal here is to get it going and keeping exposure, like I said, over the long term. But you never know what's going on. So you always want to be careful. You always want to make sure you're doing your research on it, checking the holder counts, checking where the money's going, checking how vulnerable and open they're being. Things like that is really, really important. So hopefully that answers that.
Nice. Do you mind answering this question again? And then I think we might be pretty close on our questions. How often will the burn be done?
Yep. So it'll be done every day. If we get to a certain point where we're ended up over 100 million market cap, we're pushing up and it's doing really well, maybe we'd move that off of a day. But as of right now, it'll happen every day because we get the LP fees every single day. It's random when we get them. So it'll happen 12 to 24 hours after the previous one. And so when we get them, I'll be checking. And when we get them, I'll go in and I'll buy it and burn it. I'll probably DCA into it. I'm not just going to like buy a giant clip of it. I'll set it up to where I buy a little bit of a time over like a certain period, which will help the chart with upward movement and won't allow for me to just like buy a bunch and then somebody to like sell a bunch all at once, right? But that's what it'll look like. We'll buy in a bunch, the first one should start happening in the next 30 minutes to an hour. We'll see that. So that'll be pretty big. And honestly, the cheaper it is for us, the better, you know. Obviously, if this thing ends up moving up a whole lot, like we'll be happy either way. But the cheaper entry for us buying up and burning will be pretty good. So, yep.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
We might be pretty much near the end of the live stream. Congratulations, Brewdog, on having
I need to hop off because
nice. And Kian, yes, Meteor has a DLM bootcamp for beginners, which is fantastic. Between that and the Fee Printers Discord, and just I've got to stop saying locking in, croaking in, just don't sleep, just power through, just hustle. It's worth, in my opinion, it's hard to sell anyone on this, but this is the time when you just don't have much of a social life unless it's messaging magical internet friends on the other side of the internet. Just get in there and learn,
Yeah,
learn.
exactly.
When you don't understand something, keep learning. Cool. Well,
Yep.
thank you very much for joining. I'll post at the end of the stream. We'll post all the links below. And I've been buying some CROAK, and I've gone and I've put it into an LP position on Meteor, and we'll see how it goes. And
thanks for having me on. And yeah,
awesome.
Sorry, good.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
See y'all.